Hi guys, Kim here for Treasure Lee Kit Club. What I've got for you today is a video with some tips and tricks on how to take one of our kids and take a few things from your stash and kick your layout up to the next level. For this month, we've got papers and some embellishments and some matching embellishments from 3/4 Designs. One of the fun things about 3/4 Designs is on one of your sheets of paper on the back, they give you layout ideas. So what I decided to do was take one of these layouts and add some things to it to take it from this to kick it up to the next level. So that's what this video is going to be all about. We're going to be working on this layout specifically. So I've got everything out, and if you want to see how you can take your layouts to the next level and get some really quick tips and tricks, then stay tuned. Okay everyone, so this is the back sheet of the paper from the August Scrapbook Kit. And if you haven't seen it, I will insert a card up so you can see our full kit reveal. And it has suggestions for layouts. And so this is a layout that we've taken and created. And now we're going to show you how to kick this layout up a notch using just a few extra things and a few little tips and tricks. Remember, it's all in the details about your layouts. So here we go. Here's our layout. I don't have anything glued down yet because we're going to be moving some things around, and I did some pre-work. So one of the things that you can do to take your layouts to the next level is ink. Go ahead and ink the edges of everything. For this project, for the papers, I used distressed ink in Gathered Twigs. Any warm color brown that you have of ink will work to distress your edges, to give it that worn, weathered look. Now, I used a little mini distress tool. The one thing that I didn't do that we're going to do on camera is I did not distress the edges of my paper. So we're going to go ahead and distress the edges after I take this edge off. All right, so I took our edge off, and now we're going to go ahead and distress the edges of the paper here. Everything else has been distressed already. So I'm just taking my little distress tool and I'm just going around the edges here. Nothing fancy. And we're done. Edges are all inked. So that's done. The next thing is my chipboard. Instead of painting it, I decided, because this was all grungy, I wanted to distress this too. But I used two different colors, and again, the first one was the Gathered Twigs. Again, any other warm color brown that you have in your ink stash will do. And I also used black soot and any black ink that you have. And what I did was I randomly took my tool and I put the black ink down first, and then I put the brown ink on top of it. So you can see here where it looks really distressed and it's darker in some places, like there's some black here. And I just kept going over it and over it until I got to the color that I wanted. So remember, that's another thing that you can do. You can give your embellishments, your chipboard, a couple of different tones of color. You can two-tone it, you can distress it however you want to do it, and there are lots of ways that you can alter chipboard. Maybe we'll do a video on different ways to alter some of our chipboard. And if you didn't know, Treasure Lee sells chipboard too. It can be found on our website at www.treasureleekits.com, and then you'll go up to the top and you'll click the link that says shop and click on chipboard, and what you'll see are the categories, and then click under each category to see what chipboard is available. So again, distress your chipboard, but make sure you do something fun with your chipboard. That's another way to kick your layout up to the next level. And so again, now these are all the pieces from the layout on the paper. Now, how are we going to kick this up to the next level? There's a couple of different ways. The other way is grab yourself some foam tape. It doesn't have to be really thick, but just some foam tape. And putting foam tape down on your background papers and things will give your project a little more dimension. It'll make it a little more 3D. It'll make those embellishments and things pop off the page. We're also going to use some of the metal embellishments that were in the kit. So we're going to use some of those. A piece of string or twine or whatever, because we do have a tag here, so we're going to add that for more texture. And these are from the flowers that were in the kit, so we're going to be using this piece of flower. This is just a little metal butterfly that I had in my stash that we're going to use. And here's a piece of Jolie chipboard, and for this chipboard I altered it a little bit different. I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of shimmer to it. So what I did was the same thing I did with the first piece of chipboard. I went in with the brown and the black ink, but then on top of that I took two different colors of metallic wax. I used the aged bronze to give it that little bit of reddish tone, but I also used, oh, what other color did I use? I used bronze age too to give it that brown color. So these are the two colors that I use to color my chipboard. And again, that's another way to color your chipboard. And if you want, let me know down in the comments if you want that video on different ways to alter your chipboard and embellishments for your layouts. So we're going to be using this key, and this key is available. This is a Jolie piece of chipboard, and it actually, the keys come in a set, and again they can be found on the website. I'm also taking this little piece of corrugated paper. It came in something I ordered off of Amazon, and I was like, wow, that would be really great, because if you look at the paper here, you see how it's got like some of that same texture. The only difference is I'll be using it vertically versus horizontally, but nonetheless we're still going to be using it. And what I'm going to do, again, kick up your layouts, I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges. I'm going to take my tool here and I'm just going to go ahead and ink the edges some. And if you get some on here, that's fine too. Just randomly go over it lightly, and it brings out some of that dimension, because these layouts are all about dimension, right? You really want this stuff to shine. So whatever little bits you have left, brush it over. And then if you want, you can always go ahead in with the black and just give it a light dab, because you don't want a whole lot of black. But just go ahead and brush some in. My little sponge is shredding there, but just a little bit. Tap it off, and you can see the black. It's not really heavy, but it's good enough for what we're going to do. Now the next thing we're going to do is, I need my little trusty dusty hole puncher, because like I said, we do have a tag here, and I'm going to go ahead and punch this. There we go. All right, so we got that punched, and then I'm just going to go ahead and take some string, and I'm going to double it. I'm going to twist it a little bit because this hole's a little small, and go ahead and pull it through and loop it. All right, so now that we've got all of our items here, let's go ahead and put this layout together and see how we like it once we add a few things to it, because there was absolutely nothing wrong with it the way it was off the sheet. I'm just going to go ahead and trim these a little bit, probably to about here. I'll trim it again if I need to later. So now we're going to start with gluing things down. or put it back together the way it was, but now we're going to add our little extra pieces to it. So, and then once you add everything, you can go ahead and start to glue everything down. And I kind of got little markers on where I have everything. And if you ever forget, the best thing to do is while you're working on a layout and you've got everything set the way you want before you glue it down and before you have to start moving anything, pull your camera out and take a photo. That's what I like to do. And I also make little pencil marks as well on my layouts. And this is just a photo, just a piece to hold our photo place, because I really haven't selected a photo for this layout yet. But I'm really going here with my little landmarks here. All right, so now, again, we're back to our basic layout. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this piece and it's going to go, I had to figure out where behind this I want, but I want it here. So I'm going to slide this in. Well, actually, I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to take that out. Holding these pieces, I'm going to slide this in to where I want it, which is like about here. And I'm trying to keep everything marked where I want it with my landmarks that I have. It's going to go about here. And we're going to take that off for now. And again, this is going to go back up. To here. So now I'm going to take some glue and I'm going to start gluing down things. Like our little hand here, I'm going to glue that down. The next piece I'm going to glue down is this. I'm trying to put down everything that I want flat on the page before I go in and start gluing down the things that I want to add some dimension to. So that's going to go there. We're all set. Now I'm going to lift all of this up as a whole and we're going to glue this down. Days really quick while we're working on everything else. I'm going to put that down. The next thing that we're going to put down is going to be our next background sheet. And I think before we do that, what I'm going to do is we're going to distress this a little bit more. The edges have been inked, but let's give this some more texture. I've got a little distress tool, and this is also another way of kicking those layouts up a notch. This is another layer, another piece on our layout. And so we want it all to come together, but we want people to be able to see all our layers, all our hard work. So this will make this piece stand out. And once I distress it, I'm going to have to go back in and add a little more ink to it. And I'm not really giving it a heavy distress. I'm just running my distressor along the edges. And it's got a little light distress. But now I'm going to have to go back in and ink it again. And so I'm just going back in. All right, so now we've got that. And this is going to be my next step here. And before I put that down, the one thing I want to do is I want to take my film strip chipboard and I just want to make sure that I've got this in the right spot of where I want it to be. And so far it is. And so now I'm just going to take some foam tape, because this is already sitting on a piece that's kind of 3D and pushed up off the page. I'm going to take some foam tape and I'm just going to put it around the edges so that it will sit flush to this 3D piece and it won't bend on the edges. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say here. So by putting the foam tape on the edges, when I sit this here, you see how it's all even? That's what I meant to say. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and measure here as to how I want this. And that's exactly how I want it. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue to the bottom of this. And I'm going to go ahead and glue it to that piece. And for the top piece, we're going to have to add a little bit of foam tape, because as you see, it's not going to sit flush once I go ahead and put this down. So as you can see, because there's dimension here, this doesn't sit flush and it's going to bend at the top. So we're just going to add a little bit of foam tape to the top of this. So we'll flip it over and I'll take some small pieces of foam tape for the top of this. Just a couple little tiny pieces. At the top are all you really need. And I'm going to take these off. And the reason I didn't do the sides is because sometimes you may want to layer things under that. And same thing with this sheet of paper too. I only did the sides because you may want to layer, I may want to come back and layer something under it. So now back, we're going to find our position where we had it, where we want it. And we're going to stick that down. And now we've got our foam tape and we've got our next layer. So we've got this flat layer, then we've got some dimension, and then we've got a flat layer, but it's on foam tape, so there's another layer. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to take our tag. Now there's a couple of things we can do with our tag. We can leave it flat here, or we can add some foam tape to the back of it and give it a little more dimension. And I'm going to vote for foam tape because I like layouts with a lot of dimension. So I'm just going to take a few pieces of foam tape right in the center. And I'm already going to go ahead and attach that. And I'm sticking it right there. So now we've got our dimension. We've got our little tag there. Next up, we've got to get the rest of our layers here. So again, here we are. This is just my piece for my photo. Haven't picked out a photo for this layout yet, so don't know what I'm going to do. But right now, this is how we're looking. And so what are we going to do with this piece? Do we want to add more dimension to it, or do we want to add a piece of foam tape here and have it lay flat? What we're going to do is just take some foam tape on the edge. And then we've got a little bit of glue here. And I'm going to stick my layout there, my photo holder. And we're going to take this. Oh, we got to take this off. Always remember to peel your sticky back off. And we're going to take this And we're going to sticky back it in right about there. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Now with our clock, I am definitely going to add some foam tape to our clock before we add that down. And make sure you get your clock in right. So there's my clock. And again, that's there. So now we've still got some more embellishments here. What are we going to do with these? Oh, we forgot our grunge. And our grunge is definitely going to get some foam tape. So we're going to take a little foam tape here. Little foam tape here. And we're going to add our word grunge here. So now again, we've got more dimension. And what we're going to do with our string is we're going to take that, we're going to add a little bit of glue right here, and we're just going to glue those in right there. And I'm going to add just a drop of glue on the corner so we can glue that down. So that's what that's going to go like. And again, we're still holding our place for our photo. And now we've got some flowers and things. We're going to take a little grunge flower. And that doesn't want to stay, so we got to get something to hold this down. We're going to hold that down while we finish the rest of this. We're going to take a little flower here. And this is a little metal flower from the kit. And we're going to go ahead, and it's pretty much going to go onto the piece of chipboard. It's where it's at. So I will still be able to slide my photo in and out. But that's where it's going to go there. Next, we're going to take our piece of chipboard. I'm going to add some glue to that. Sorry about that. We're going to go ahead and add a little glue to that. And we're going to stick that right about there. Is where we're going to stick our little key. And then we're going to take some of our little metal embellishments. And these are things that when I say remember the details, we're going to take a little piece off of here. It's already a little sticky, but I'm going to add some glue to it. Just a little drop. We're going to add one right here. We've also got this butterfly, and I'm going to take the tiniest piece of foam tape, and we're going to add that to the back of this butterfly. I think we're going to stick him right here. Right there. All right, that should be down now. And so now we've just kicked this layout up another notch from what it looked like on the sheet. And once I add a photo to this, what I'll probably end up doing is adding a few more metal flowers. Once I add a photo to it, I just haven't picked out a photo yet to go with it. So I'll probably add a few more flowers to it. But this is how you can easily kick up your layout with just a few extra things, or how you can take a sketch and create a layout and then add your own personal touches to it. So again, like I said, we took this beautiful, simple layout right here, and we added a few things just to kick it up a notch. So again, this whole kit can be found on our website at www.trejoliekits.com. This is part of our August scrapbook kit. So head on over to the website, check it out. The August Scrapbook Kit is $52. That includes your shipping. Supplies are limited left on the kit, but the best way to never miss out on a kit is to just go ahead over to the website and subscribe. And speaking of subscribe, don't forget to hit that like button below, comment on this video, and hit the subscribe button, and then hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time that we upload another video. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial with tips and tricks on how to kick your layouts up to the next level. And next time maybe we'll take it up another level by adding some mediums to the backgrounds and things like that. But this has been Kim for Trey Jolie Kits. Bye.